Airtable has been leaning heavily into AI. So today, let's talk about their new Airtable AI field that was launched in March 2024. In this video, we'll talk about the two different ways that you can use the Airtable AI field and exactly how it actually benefits your data. And this is really exciting because Airtable is actually really well positioned to use AI working with your data. So let's get into it right now. Like any other field, using the Airtable AI field is really simple. If you scroll on over to the right, click that plus button, and you will see an option for AI. Airtable has actually called out AI specifically, and the reason is they want people to start using this. It's new, it is powerful, and again, we'll talk about how to do that right now. So when you click on AI, you'll notice two different options: generating text or suggesting records to link to. Both of these can be powerful. Let's start with generating text, though, as that's probably the one you're going to use more of. What is generating text, right? It is like any other AI tool you're probably used to, like ChatGPT. You give the AI a prompt, and it spits back out data into your field, right? And so the key thing with these fields is that you can take advantage not just in prompting them, like you would with ChatGPT, but in prompting them with variables. So Airtable can look at the data in these other cells and use that data to dynamically send a different prompt to ChatGPT or to AI. And so here, as you think about that functionality, Airtable gives you two main options: starting with a template or starting from scratch. So let's start with from scratch just to get a sense of how this all works. As you might expect, there's a prompt you can put in here. So for our CRM example, let's try writing an email. Let's tell Airtable that you are a SDR at a top tech company. Write an outbound email that gets the prospect interested in our product, Whalesync. It should address the person by their name, which is name, and mention the company they work for, which is company. Again, if you're doing this for real, you'll probably want to actually customize this a bit more, but that's enough to click Generate Preview and take advantage of something that's really nice about this feature, which is that Airtable will tell you what it would do if you were to actually use this for real. Now, the Generate Preview can take a little bit of time. I imagine that's something they'll speed up over time, but let's give it a second here, and when it spits something back, we can start to use it. So here we go. Take a look at this. Email written. This is really not nice. I probably wouldn't use this for real, but we can come back because of this preview and say, keep the email under 5 sentences, right? And from there, let's go ahead and create the field. Now, what Airtable will do is create this generate button. And when you click it, it will start to generate your AI text, right? And if we do that for, let's just take those first two, what you'll notice is that Airtable has written this email specific to Brian here, mentioning, his company Airbnb, whereas the second one, it is sent to Patrick. And it's slightly different. It's not like a formula field where every single field is going to be exactly the same. That's really the beauty of AI. You can write something that's unique and customized without actually writing it. So that's how you use generate text in this free-form way. Let's compare that to their template. So we'll come back, we'll hit a new field here, generate text, and start with a template. Now, what's really awesome about this is that Airtable has already thought about the ways that you might want to use this. So you don't have to come up with it on your own. And so they actually have things like an outreach email that has a template where you can fill in the fields that you want it to use, right? So you can start to get a sense of how powerful this can be and also where the state of AI is today. It's not perfect. An AE, an account executive, is probably more of a salesperson, but you can see how our AI might make that mistake. But overall, this is actually pretty powerful and pretty accurate. Lastly, let's talk about the third option for Airtable AI fields. If we click on this again and see AI, we'll notice suggest records to link to. So this one is a little bit less powerful, let's say, or less fancy, but it's doing something that can be really nice and essentially saying, when you're setting up a linked record, instead of having to search through your entire list manually and look for the thing that you want, AI can actually do that for you and start to suggest what you might want to link things to. So in this example, again, we have a context table and a companies table. let's create a linked record between contacts and companies. And here we need to tell Airtable which field on our contacts table it should look to and which field on the companies table it should look to try to create those suggestions. So on contacts, we might want to take email, right? So Brian, Patrick, Sarah all have a company email. So that could be something that's useful for our AI. There we go. And then over on the other side of this in companies, let's take the name. And so what we're suggesting to Airtable here is use this company email and then use the name of those companies to try to suggest what company I might want to link to this person. So I'll go ahead and create that field. And now it'll behave in many ways like a normal linked record field. But when I go to add a new company, it should start to bring up these top matches. Now, with a small list like this of just a handful of companies, it's not a big deal for me to just sort of scroll through this list. I clearly can find that Brian Chesky is associated with Airbnb faster than it can create this top match. And we'll do it one more time here. But there we go. Top matches, Patrick, Stripe. That one worked really nicely. And let's try one more. Sarah, we wanted to hopefully mention Coinbase. And again, not quite. So that's your quick overview of the Airtable AI field. Hopefully you can kind of get a sense of where this is going. Clearly, the AI is not perfect. Airtable's AI features are not perfect, but it is going to be very powerful, and being familiar with these fields and tools from day one, as Airtable invests heavily into this, is going to be really, really useful.